14.5 between first and second.
Happy wave from Valentino Rossi and Raffaele Marciello, who should be finished on the podium. He's fifth from 7 starts at this racetrack in this race, which is just an amazing strike rate. Yet to win, of course. Who knows? Still 10 minutes to go. He's should win on 7th. Ricky fella in the Porsche next to Daniel Serra. So Fraser crept up a little bit in the closing stages of this, and a good step from Ryan Wood has elevated the Zico Sports Pesta car back in the 3rd place in the bronze class. So they would be able to lift a trophy in the Rise Racing GT.
That is so annoying.
International operation this weekend.
He did that a little while ago, and I expected once he got past Alfred Renard that he might pull away. It's been hovering around 1.7, 2.4 seconds. It's the man that's taken his
So annoying.
So it's the man for 3rd in the bronze class. And Renard is not letting him get away. 2.3 seconds sounds an awful lot, but round here, that is literally one breaking point missed. Driving the car brilliantly, 7th position. And also, we haven't talked about Max Martin for a little while. What a story this is. This whole team didn't have the best of starts to the weekend. Limited amount of running on Friday, and they lost. So they're chasing a setup, chasing a power issue. Didn't get the car qualified. If they win this, they will come from 29th position. This race has never been run from lower than 11th, and that was only once. The rest of the time, it's been the top 7.
Correct. It would be the furthest back that this trial has ever been won. There's so many storylines around this. GMR have been coming here and trying to win this race for quite some time now. Hong Kong-based team. They're really a sort of transatlantic and even trans-Pacific team that race on all corners of the world, sort of no fixed address. But they are incredibly competitive, and every time they've showed up to Mount Panorama, they have had a shot at contending for this race. And a lot of that has been down to Maro Engel, who will be sitting down in pit lane. I'm not sure if he's been sighted for a while. His 10th visit to this place in the race.
What an opportunity also for Maxime Martin to be in the car at the end here and deliver.
There he is.
Under pressure, so it's not done yet. Still 8 minutes left in this one. But with the red flag and the lost time, you would expect the strategy would have had Maro in the car. But they've had to pivot, and Maxime Martin has been given the job to bring the car home, and he's delivering now to the gap first and second. Just over 2 seconds, so Martin starting to get up the road a little bit, just by a bit of buffer and a bit of safety, just south of 8 minutes left.
About 20 minutes ago, Ben Barnigan took the car number 95 into the pit lane. It hasn't re-emerged yet, so not the end to the event that they were looking for. And a final pit stop from Ryder Quinn, who's coming in the number 101 Mercedes, just about to turn its 250th lap in the bronze category. And it will surprise you not at all to know that the last 5 laps or so, not less than that, the last 3 laps or so are going to be done by Tony Quinn.
Absolutely right.
Totally agree.
So it should. I tell you what, they're making a documentary about this, and they're calling about it. But Rust is helping piece it all together with Ben Sale and a very small team. It is going to be compulsory viewing when he drops, because the story they are going to tell over the course of the day is pretty remarkable. The course of the weekend, just amazing stuff.
Nice stuff by Tony there. Started to turn in, had a car alongside him, lifted off, got the front end of the car back, would have been easy to panic there. Another lap completed, 6.5 minutes to go. The tension is nigh on unbearable, not just for the leaders, but for the bronze leaders. Second place, Boccolacci across the line, 2 seconds, the gap, 2:03.8, 2:03.7. Let's wait for Farfus. Augusto, in the form of his life, the Brazilian.
4-1 for Farfus in the BMW, so not able to go with the 2 leaders.
the next generation of Bathurst racers already underway. Vicky's daughter, a highly respected partner, picked up by the Iron Dames organisation. So keep an eye out for that. Yeah, her birthday is always around Le Mans, so Augusto's greatest issue is he never gets to spend her birthday with him because he's at Le Mans racing. So he said, I have to win Le Mans for Vicky as a birthday present, which I think is lovely.
Pro-Am class still being led by car 45. I'd love to get a time in the lead stat for them when this all washes out, because it's been a big chunk of today's race, and they've also worked their way up to 12th outright. Dylan O'Keefe, the Victorian, behind the wheel. So they've been really nice. Brett Hobson and Garth Baldwin have done sterling work there looking for Pro-Am class. We're pointing out that that car was originally entered in the silver class, but they elected to bump themselves up a category because they wanted more competition. There weren't that many cars entered. Caron Lee watching on. His teammate is in second position. The margin has crept out now over to 2 seconds for the first time in this race, in this final little battle to the flag. Porsche chasing down Mercedes AMG. Both brands have won this race before. Mercedes AMG on 3 occasions, Porsche on 2. And it feels like a long time ago, since 2023, when Sun Energy won their second race. Since then, Porsche and BMW have been at the front of the field.
So, as my Nathan, now bossing a truck, confirming my very rudimentary base 60 maths earlier on. Here we go, Max Hesse having a look.
4th position. Gets around the outside at Griffin's Bend. Will Brown has had plenty of laps around this place. Knows how to play it.
Smart by Brownie. Yeah. Stopped the entry speed so he didn't overrun the entry and end up out of position leaving turn 2.
So just to confirm that countdown clock, I mentioned this about half an hour, a little bit more ago. At 3:36.543, that is to 45 minutes past the hour. And that would be the 12 hours up. Race control will give us a last lap board after 43. So 43 plus 1 lap is the calculation.
It's 2 or 3 laps depending on when this
Correct.
gets to the line. Correct, essentially. That's to complete 260 laps of Mount Panorama. Margin 2.1 seconds, and it's just crept back a little bit. Porsche has been very good across the top relative to the GMR Mercedes. Thunders through the Scuderia Auto Art chase, the baritone of the AMG and the howl of the Porsche, and 2 normally aspirated cars, which is a rarity in motorsport these days. First and second, the turbocharged BMW in 3rd position. So 3 different brands in the top 3, 4 in the 4 when you count Will Brown in the Audi. So 2 laps remaining in the Maguire's Bathurst 12 hour. And it's an utterly compelling story, this winning team, that have been coming to try and win this race for years and haven't quite got there. But more so the drivers. We talked about Maxi Martin and Mauro Engel. We didn't talk about Mick Grenier. Grenier, the Canadian driver who first came here as an AMG driver with Triple Eight Race Engineering and has just been rock solid. But he's not the third wheel on this day. He has been a massive contributor to their success today.
Leader heading into going up the mountain through the Ford cutting and now across the top. I'm just checking for any traffic that may yet be in the way. The next car along the road, which has made up that position, I said it would, is Brent Road. 7th position now. And he is just heading through the dimmer now as the leader, through the S's rather, as the leader comes down through the dimmer.
There's Mick Grenier. 4 grand in the background was Mauro Engel.
this deep into the race, but certainly been in race-winning positions in the past. And he will not believe it is true until this car crosses the line.
There would be an argument you could make that say the team should have won in 2023. There was a controversial moment right here in the closing stages that he was involved in. They ultimately finished third. The year prior to that, he was mighty in the closing stages, and he and Jules Grinon produced an absolute masterclass for the final couple of hours of this race in really challenging conditions. He finished second there. That was his best result.
Draw attention to the teams. The leader has commenced the last lap.
Confirming the leader has commenced the last lap.
A smidge over 6 kilometres remain for Team GMR for Mercedes AMG. The margin is
6.21 kilometres remain for the 888 team. And they've run an absolute amazing race. You heard that car's up 28 positions. Started 29th. Now up into first position. This has been an absolute masterclass from the 888 team. They've been mostly in contention since about halfway onwards. It's been absolutely amazing. What a day it's been. Boccolini as well, who will sit in second, 1.4 seconds off the lead overall, but will win in his class. That is a sight for sore eyes. The fans over the top for the final time. This 888 car makes its run into the Gazoo Dipper and out the other side, up the curb on the exit. Through and into the elbow. Keep away from the sawdust on the outside and put the power down for the final time at the elbow. The team now, they start to release the tension that's been holding for around about 20 minutes now. For the final time down the chase. Maxime Martin looks out the window for one last time. He flashes the lights to the car in front to let him know he's there. Boccolini closes in. It's 0.8, but I don't think it'll be enough. The fastest driver in Intercontinental Championship, Maxime Martin, the 888 team, will win the Bathurst 12-hour and will lead the championship in overall. For the Bathurst 12-hour, what a race. Far for second in pro. Wow, what a race.
T again on the podium in third, ahead of the number 55 Audi, Will Brown hammering that home. And a little word as well, I think, for the guys at Team KRC and that green BMW, second in the bronze class.
Well, it started green and ended the race black with a lot of new panels on it. So, just want to point out the two cars that finished first and second started this race, 29th and 30th, from the 15th row off the grid. Plus 28 spots for both those cars. That's a mega effort.
the furthest back anyone has ever won this race from at Mount Panorama. GMR is celebrating on the right of the screen on the left. We're about to see the Pro Am winner. A little team from Sydney that could, with Mike Sheargold, who's the brand motorsport proponent of this, watching out from the sidelines, cheering his boys home. It's a class victory, a Bathurst victory for Garth Walden, for Brett Hobson and for Dylan O'Keefe, who brings the 45 car across the line. The Mercedes AMG wins outright and wins the bronze class as well. Pro Am class as well, so bronze going the way of Porsche. Three different manufacturers in the three. Audi home in fourth place. They might be retiring the Audi R8 at some point in the near future, but it is still a very handy GT3 machine.
Waiting to see the number 101 of Tony Quinn coming to the Scuderia Auto Art chase right now, and the family story has the happy ending. 3 generations brought together by a stalwart supporter of motor racing in this area of the world. They are going to the pit wall, as they rightly should. the most pristine-looking car crosses the line in 18th position, and Tony Quinn has the legacy and has the memories he wanted.
Finished in the top 20 in a world-class field. That is an incredible story. Team GMR for Mercedes-AMG, they win the Intercontinental GT Challenge opener as well. And Maxime Martin, it would be easy to argue this could be the biggest win of his career. At 37 years of age, the Belgian driver has brought the Mercedes-AMG home and has won Bathurst with Mick Grenier and Mauro Engel on his 10th attempt at conquering Mount Panorama, has finally got the Bathurst win he so desired. This place has thrown everything at him, and on occasion he's thrown everything at it as well, and it's paid off today. What a race, what a day at the office that has been. Mercedes-AMG win the Maguire's Bathurst 12-hour high-class racing. Kieron Lee, Anders Fjordbach and Dorian Boccolacci second outright and win the bronze class. Augusto Farfus, Raffaele Marciello, who scores his 5th podium finish from 7 attempts, and Valentino Rossi, who turns 47 tomorrow. He said if he won, he'd shout the town. Maybe he'll just shout the bar instead for a podium finish. The Pro-Am was finished 13th outright in the end, with Dylan O'Keefe behind the wheel, just behind last year's winners. And getting to the end, 26 laps down, the Invitational class winning IRC GT car got to the line, and they will win the Invitational class. Let's go and celebrate this one. Jay Adam is with our winners.
Oh, this is going to be a good one to celebrate, guys, because this is 3 first-time winners. They want to jump up on the car and do a group photo, and you know what? They've deserved it, so we're going to let them do this first. Mick Grenier, Maxime Martin, and Mauro Engel, your Maguire's Bathurst 12 Hours winners for 2026. Amazing drive from all 3 of these guys, and you can feel the emotion coming through. Now, I want to start with Max because he brought the car to the checkered flag. You got a little bit of a joke there from Raffaele Marciello saying, now you can stop crying about this one. How much does it mean that you're finally with tears of joy in your eyes crossing the finish line?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, to be honest, starting the weekend, I don't think we were expected to win. But the last restart, I was just patient. They were quite hot, and yeah, at the end, my teammates, the team, we did 0 mistakes, fantastic race, and first victory for us 3. So thank you, everyone.
And for Mick Grenier, when we talked at the end of practice 1, it wasn't looking so good. Did you ever think this was going to be possible?
Yeah, I mean, we knew we would be in the game, but we never expected that, honestly, especially after qualifying, because we had something with the engine, and then we started, I think, almost on last, so we knew it would be a tough race. But we had some really good strategy call. Mauro and Maxime were amazing, as always. It was a big fuel game the whole race, but we did it, so super nice.
Yes, you did. And Mauro, finally, we're here. We're standing under the podium. What does it mean to get this one checked off the list?
Yeah, I've waited a long time for this, and it's every bit as special as I dreamt it would be. It's amazing. It's not at all the weekend and the run plan we had planned. Lots of improvisation, starting obviously with qualifying, but the end result, we won the race. So so happy. Big thank you to Mercedes-AMG team, GMR, to my fantastic teammates. They drove their hearts out, Mick and Maxime, and it feels really good.
It's time to celebrate and make it official. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Maxime Martin, Mauro Engel, and Mick Grenier, Bathurst winners.
Records broken right throughout. The winners coming from the furthest back in the field ever. First and second, both coming from the 15th row of the grid. We've had more cars on the lead lap at the end than ever before. 13 for those of you who are counting. And we've had the first ever 3-generational driver squad from one family getting a finish in the top 20. I think Tony Quinn might have to add another chapter to his book, 0 to 60, and just get that legacy written down. Incredible, Grillsy.
I think this is another book in its entirety.
Just for this race?
Yeah. Mercedes AMG Team GMR celebrate the fourth closest racing finish in Bathurst 12-hour history at 1.03 seconds. So pretty sporty race. Record 3-day attendance of over 55,000 this weekend here at Mount Panorama. 13 cars on the lead lap, as you said, which is by far an event record. On the flip side, it's the shortest Bathurst 12-hour in terms of laps and distance run since 2015.
Oh, wow.
Where we had about 300,000 safety car periods. So that lengthy 54-minute race suspension in the middle of the day. Mara's going to celebrate with everybody in Bathurst tonight. He has been working towards this moment.
I mean, he's finished out the town. He might be shouting the town. It seems a long time ago in some respects when we got things underway in the darkness this morning. It was the usual bun fight up Mountain Straight. I'll say what you said last year. Guys, it's a 12-hour race.
Yeah, they didn't seem to care, did they? And it was on very, very early. And as the dawn woke, there was dramas for the Ford. Yes, there was a Ford Mustang in this race. It lasted about 3 laps, and for Chris Meese, unfortunately, collected some wildlife in the early hours. This one, they got away with somehow, and it was the story of the day in some respect. There were many close calls, some of them not quite so close.
Yeah, the IRC car losing its rear wing. But the racing was incredible. Corvette here for the first time, bringing a couple of cars, and the Pro car right up there with the BMWs. WRT defending their win from last year, and both of their cars at the sharp end of the field. And of course, Valentino Rossi doing a great job as always. Then the big accident at the top of the hill brought out the BMW M safety car. That brought things back together. And a bizarre incident for the 222, which had been on pole position.
Heart-wrenching stuff for Thomas Randall, who was distraught after that moment that cost the 222 a shot. They kind of clawed their way back in, but ultimately it would be for naught. That was James Golding, an enormous impact on the run-up towards McPhillamy Park. Having already had to crash this car earlier on in the race, so they were on the comeback trail. James was okay. Then this was arguably the biggest moment of the race in terms of an incident. Tapped around into a spin. Following a race restart was the 79 car, and then Craft Bamboo Racing, Rolf Ruon, his second driver, was behind the wheel.
That's awful.
We can confirm that Rob was taken to a local hospital for precautionary checks, but he climbed out of that car under his own steam.
And Maro Engel squeaked through by about 4 millimetres on the back of that stranded car, and that was to become very, very important. The great run by the number 2 Corvette came to an end at the top of the mountain when something broke at the back of Earl Bamber's car. That was another safety car. And then the Penlight team, the number 100, they've had issues before, but they were going well. And more AMG on AMG action than you could have hoped for. Looked like the AMG GT3 Cup at one stage. And then the moment of the race in some ways, battling at the sharp end of things, brings out the late race safety car through, sneaks to 32. They left out that WRT car and didn't take the pit stop. It lay on the restart. Gilles Gounon down the inside. There's contact, and through nipped the eventual winning car. Max Martin took the opportunity. Thank you very much indeed. Dorian Boccolacci also going through, and Augusto Farfus into 3rd position. That is where the top 3 positions were decided.
And from there, it was just pressure from Dorian Boccolacci. And he got within a second just at the end of that, but nothing could stop Mercedes AMG Team GMR, Mick Grenier, Maxime Martin, and Maro Engel, who finally breaks through for a Bathurst victory. 3 first-time winners will celebrate on the mountain.
2026 Maguires. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the 2026 Maguires Bathurst 12-hour podium. In 3rd place for BMW Team WRT, it's Augusto Farfus, Raffaele Marciello, and Valentino Rossi. In 2nd place for High Class Racing, Caron Lee, Anders Fjornbach, and Dorian Boccolacci.
And in first place, Mercedes AMG Team GMR, Maro Engel, Mick Grenier and Maxime Martin. Presenting the medals for the Intercontinental GT Challenge, it's Series Manager Abby Hay. Presenting the third place trophies, Shane Rogers, Bathurst 12-hour event director. Presenting second place trophies, Bathurst Mayor Robert Taylor. Presenting the first place trophies and YSL Winners Watches, Bruce Morrison from Maguires. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your podium for the 2026 Maguires Bathurst 12-hour podium. Let the celebrations begin.
As the champagne flows from above, what a day it's been, the Maguires. Bathurst 12-hour show, Garth, time to dissect what's been an awesome day. The celebrations happen literally above us right now. How much fun was that?
Oh man, what a race. This always delivers. But for me, the biggest thing, what could have been and what is coming for next year, because the number of interviews that you and I both had where people said, I just got to come back. I feel like that's what I heard more throughout the day.
Absolutely. Garth, this race went through a bit of a lull after COVID. Hit a bit of a speed bump. Boy, is it back right now.
Yeah, 24 cars here last year, 34 cars here this year. Chance even getting a bit of champagne on it. A massive lift in the number of cars that turned up and what quality cars came to race today. Great to have the Ford Mustang here for its first start at Mount Panorama, to have Corvette here for their first start. They're going to come back bigger and stronger next year.
Yeah. How about some highlights from the day? I know there was a lot of crazy stuff happening early on. Oh no, we've lost the bottle. It's a goner. Drop the catch. There might be another one coming here. Yeah, that's how you do it. We've had enough drama today on the mountain before we need any more crashing going on beneath us right now.
Yeah, I think we've got enough damage. We don't need more champagne bottles coming down on us.
I mean, that instant for the Ford this morning with Christopher Lees set the tone for what was going to be a pretty crazy race.
Yeah, there was plenty that took place. Real shame for the Mustang to go out after 20 minutes. Never got a chance to really get going. And then those big crashes that we saw across the top of the mountain, firstly for James Golding in the BRM run Audi, and then that moment between the Tsunami RT and the Craft Bamboo Mercedes down into Forest Elbow that ultimately had that red flag for just short of 60 minutes while we cleaned the track up. But after the red flag, when we got going again, it was on.
Yeah, and how about The last restart, oh my gosh, we built it up and it lasted 200 metres.
It was insane between Kelvin van der Linde and Jules Gounon, both former race winners, both guys who knows how important it is to have a clean car. Both of them sacrificed the clean car. And you know how difficult it is to drive with any sort of damage. They knew 40 minutes to go. Their races were over.
Yeah, well, they knew that track position was going to be king right there with 40 minutes to go. That's why Kelvin was defending so hard, and that's why Jules went the big send straight away, because he knew that if van der Linde got into a rhythm and was able to defend for the rest of the race, it was going to be a real challenge to get past that BMW. A shame that we saw two of the real guns effectively get taken out of the fight right at the end. But what about the two cars that finished first and second? First started from 29th, second started from 30th. What an epic fight, man.
Well, I think we got one more trophy to hand out, the Australian Tourist Trophy upstairs. There is a trophy with a bit of prestige behind it. Certainly plenty of history there as well, and I love that they've been able to behest this event with that trophy as well. That seems like a nice combination. And Dave Stewart from Motorsport Australia is up there to hand that one out, Garth. So plenty of history being brought into an event that's still very much making its way in the GT3 era.
Yeah, it's still in its infancy in the GT3 era, but it's growing in stature year on year. You only have to look at the quality of the teams and drivers that are starting to come to this event after the COVID period, and it's starting to build. The manufacturers are really understanding that the racing here is important, and they will get stronger and stronger. We mentioned Ford here with one car, Corvette here with two. Ford are definitely coming back with more than one car next year, and it'll be great to see Corvette come back too. BMW have supported this race for so long. AMG Mercedes with 10 cars this weekend. It continues to grow in stature and importance on the world stage.
Now, what a way this is to lead into what's going to be a huge week of motorsport here in Australia. Round one of the Repco Supercars Championship. It begins under lights, Sydney Motorsport Park. It's the Dunlop Sydney 500 racing on Friday night. That's free for the fans here to come and attend locally in New South Wales. You able to catch this on Fox Sports and KO across the weekend as well. Not to mention our international viewers, of which there's been plenty on the live stream. They've been watching this on Superview. Sadly, you're heading back to the States, so you won't be there, but you can catch that one on Superview show.
And you know I will be. I've got my subscription ready to go.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun here. We love the Maguires. Bathurst 12-hour. Time to pack it up.
Certainly a great weekend. If that's how we're starting our racing here in Australia this year, I can't wait for next week.
Thank you to all of our brand new TV crew and those who are sticking with us for 2026. Thanks to all of the viewers that have joined us from Australia and around the world. Well done to John and to Krause and the team alongside me. Well done to Brian joining us this weekend. Thank you for watching Maguires Bathurst 12-hour. Man, that felt like it was 24 hours. We fit as much drama into that one as we possibly could. We'll catch you here next year at Bathurst.
This is where the world comes to race. And for 2026, Australia's International Enduro bursts into life at Mount Panorama.